And welcome back to the second part of the test. We just finished part one of the test review. So we're going to move on to part two of the test review. Oh, I forgot to change my little slide here. That's not what's happening on this one anymore. So this is our word problems one. So we got a few different things up here. So I got some that have verbal expressions. I have some that have algebraic expressions. And then I have some where we've physically got to work out the answer. So let's take a look what we got here. I can see all these kind of have 2x and 12 or 3x and 12, and they all equal 6. So 12 subtracted from. So I know subtract, obviously, that's just your minus symbol. But unfortunately, I can see that on, oh, wow, two of them have a plus symbol. So that's a great start already for this question. From a number tripled, is 6. Now, also, I know subtracted from is one of those flip words or turnaround words. Things that have two words together tend to be, you switch them over. So it's not 12 minus, it's actually something minus 12. Now, a number tripled, I know tripled means times by 3. Doubled means times by 2. So I think I found the one that works for this one here. Is 6 just means equals 6. I'm just going to leave that one there for a second. 12 less than a number doubled is 6. So less than, once again, means subtract. So I think it's probably going to be this one here. But less than is also one of those turnaround words. So it's actually going to flip over. So it's actually going to be minus 12 at the end. Number doubled, that's 2x, and is 6 equals 6. 12 more than twice a number is 6. So more than, like less than, is one of those turnaround words. So more than I know is add. So it's not 12 add, it's going to be something plus 12. Twice a number, twice is another word that means the same as doubled. So it means I'm timesing by 2. So I can see it's this one here. Let's just check the last one. 12 plus a number tripled is 6. So not a turnaround word, just a single word here. So plus just means I'm going to add. And then the number tripled is 3x, as we saw before. Now, you could then go ahead and solve each of these equations. I can see if I add 12 to both sides, I would get 18. 3x equals 18. X equals 6. If I add 12 to both sides here, I would get 18 divided by 2 is 9. If I subtract 12 from here, I get negative 6. And when I divide by 2, I would get negative 3. And if I subtract 12 from both sides, I'll get negative 6. Then divide by 2 is, divide by 3 would give me negative 2. And then we can just drag these all together. And there's normally a little check screen so we can see if we actually got these correct. So on your test, obviously, you wouldn't have 4 of these to do. We just practicing today. Again, all right, we got that one right. All right, perimeter. So we talked about perimeter in our last lesson, 1b.5, or actually as part of the start of this lesson. So this is where we add all the terms together, and then we set it equal to 90. So I know the top of this rectangle is 5x plus 2, and I know the bottom of this rectangle is also 5x plus 2. So that's my starting point. So on your paper, just as you do your solving, I would start by, for perimeter, just literally labeling all the sides just so you can see exactly what you got. So top is the same as the bottom, and left is the same as the right. Whoops. And 2x plus 1. So I'm going to start by adding all my x's together first. 5 add 5 is 10. 2 add 2 is 4. If I add all my x's together, I can see that that's 14. And then for the numbers, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Sometimes they will put negatives in there, so you got to be careful. You're just adding a negative, which you can use your Desmos calculator for if you're not sure. It says is 90, so I'm going to write equals 90. And as we already did the lesson on solving equations, that's for you guys to finish off now, so you can check exactly which of those is correct. If the area of the rectangle is 60, what is the value of x? Now, on the formula sheet, it does give you a formula. It tells you that the area is base times height. So I got to do this times this, but I'm going to do numbers first. I'm going to do letters second. And that's going to look much nicer. So make sure we know the difference between those words. So area, we're multiplying the two sides together for the rectangle. For the one with perimeter, you're adding all the sides together, and that's why you want to label all 4 sides together. If you only add those 2 sides together, obviously that's not the perimeter, which is why that's labeling becomes important. And for this question, it says equal to 60. If you notice, you could actually divide both sides by 4 here. Bravo, that would definitely help. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute because I know when I see parentheses, that will definitely get me to the right answer too. 4 times 3 is 12. Oops, let's try that again. There we go. Equals 60. And then from here, you guys can finish this question off as well. It does say find the value of x. So we're just solving for x in this question here. But the setup is definitely what's important. You won't see any other questions for area than rectangles or squares at this point, just because otherwise it gets a little too complicated. For perimeter, you can have in theory any shape because you're just adding all the sides together. All right, we've got our classic type of word problem here. A taxi charges $5 initially and then $1.20 for each mile. Not quite sure why we've got a picture of Big Ben here if we have in London, if we have dollars, but we'll ignore that for a second. Write an expression to show the cost of a journey of m miles long. So they've already given us the variable for this one. So $5 initially, that's just 5, that's it. 120 for each mile. That's your clue then that this is going to be 120 with the variable, which they've already told us to use m for this question. Whoops. And the and in this question here, that's very similar to add. So we have a cost, they give us an additional cost, and that will tell us the total price for this. If you travel 4 miles, how much is the journey? So if we travel 4 miles, I'm just going to go ahead and substitute in 4 for this one. $1.20 times it by 4, and then add $5 on. Use your calculator if necessary. I think this one's going to be $9.80. If the cost of the journey is $14, how many miles was the journey? So this time we don't know the miles, but we do know the total price. So I can just set the equation equal to this one then. Oh, sorry, the expression, I guess. And I can create an equation. So 5 plus 1.20m equals 14. I can subtract 5 from both sides, which would give me 1.20m equals 9. And then the last step, I think I might be using my calculator in a second for this one. I got to divide by 1.20. And I got to do the same on this side as well. 9 divided by 1.20. Well, I definitely don't want to do that in my head. Let's see if we can find that calculator. It doesn't look like it's going to let me work on this one, and it's not letting me work here either. All right, I will fix this before you actually get to this question, just to make sure. But I can quickly work it out in my head. I believe it's 7.5, but you should check on a calculator just to make sure. All right, a performer who appears at birthday parties charges $50 as an initial fee, $25 for supplies, and then $60 for each hour that they stay. So we've kind of seen something similar. This is kind of like the last one. There's a starting fee, 50, but there's also another fee here, 25. So let's add that one in there as well. And then that's $60 for each hour. That's where I'm going to multiply them together. So that's going to be 60 each. How much would it cost to hire the performer for 3 hours? Now, I could actually simplify this straight away. 50 plus 25, I know that's 75. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 75 in here straight away. So how much would it cost for 3 hours? So I will just substitute in H as 3. 75 plus 6 times, not 6, 60, whoops. $6 an hour would not be very much. Times by 3, there we go. And then you can obviously just use your calculator for this one. 180 plus 75 is 255. I hope. Check on the calculator. How long could they be hired for if you had $500? So I would set this equal to this. 75 plus 6H. And you want to spend the whole $500? Sure, let's put equal to $500. Now, as I'm so low running out of space here, if you subtract 75 from both sides, you get 425. So we're subtracting 75. I'm just not writing it down on here because I'm short of space. I can then do divide by 6, and then this is really where I would need a calculator. 425 divided by 6 does not work very well. All I do know is that it's 7 point something. So I'm going to say approximately 7 hours, and we'll leave it at that for right now. That's it. That kind of covers most of the things in there. So basically the format for this is we've got an area question, perimeter question. You got your classic word problems where it's less than, more than, could have quotient in there, product, whatever it's going to be. There's also questions where you've got to write the equation. They could ask you for a specific value if they tell you the number of hours or the number of miles that you travel, or they could ask you if you have a certain amount of money, how far could you go or how much could you spend, etc., or how long could you stay, sorry, etc., involving solving as well. It says you have one final question, but that is it. And the final question was, are there any other questions that you want to answer? If there are, fill them in there. If you're in class, just go ahead and ask. That's probably easier. There is after school tutoring as well. So remember to try and use that before the test as well, if necessary. That's it for this second part of this video.